Monday morning, March 18th, 2024. I think. All right, gold open range has formed. We are rocketing up. Do we break free? Do we break free? We shall see. Immediately pushed up through it, so that's a good sign. We'll see if gold is good to us this morning. What's the range on our open range? 28, so that's a small range. So might be a smaller trade, but we're evaluation trading today. Pretty rough week last week, so we're gonna whippy. All right, glad we went in light on that one. I really don't like the first break. I'm always very cautious of those first breaks, but sometimes they just rock it up, so that's what we want to be a part of if it goes that direction. Got the overnight open below, pretty close, really. Been strongly pushing up, though. Let's see. All right, we're going to let this thing play out a little bit. Let's go look at where we're at in the other instruments here. So let's see. Oil. Open range below. And not far below. Very close there as well. Obviously, we still have a while till we even open in oil, but we're at the London lows. Just came off of the gold line. Dropping down. If it had been up early, this would have been wasn't really watching a few minutes ago, but this would have been a decent attempt to see if we get down to the overnight open. My guess is that we will, but that's just a guess. We're holding the 90 MA over here on gold. Got a strong push. I mean, we're moving up over here. Tuck that in a little bit so we can see. Where's I'm going to throw on the 21. If we have it. I don't even have it set up in here. Let's throw up a 21 SMA I just want to see something real quick. So close below the 21 SMA is a reset of the 9 EMA. So technically we did reset. Couple false breaks out here. It'd be nice if we came back to the gold line at least. We'll see how this plays out. Since we've had a break, we really want to see some space down before we push back up through it. If we hang out here at the top, I don't think it's as likely to play out. So take this back off just to reduce the number of lines that we have crowding our chart. All right, let's do, well, actually, let's do this. Pull over a different chart for purposes of this view. All right, let's take a look. Get rid of this guy. It's been kind of an upward push this morning, looks like. So Friday we finally took out all these lows, all these equal lows we were talking about. We took them out on Friday. And now we're pushing up pretty hard. See if there's a more recent gap we're pushing out of, or get some more information here off the 4-hour data series. Give me more days. Okay, so we pushed down, we took out these lows, created this little gap here. Looks like we're going to easily close above it. I mean, we have these highs coming down nicely here on the 4-hour chart, so could be reaching to take those out. I'd like to see something a little more recent. Same thing here on the 1-hour. Right, we're pushing out of here on the 1-hour. Got these relative equal highs right here. A little ways up there, about 50 points. And then obviously the same thing. We've got we've got these lower highs, and we just came up and retested it. Retested that area. I think what it's most interesting here my chat's being weird. Anyway, what's most interesting here, I think, is if we I mean, it looks like we got 13 minutes left on this candle. So if we create a gap here, kind of interesting to see what happens here. We didn't take out any highs, but if we invert back down, you know, maybe we remain bearish for a minute. I'm not sure. Let's see. We just took this out so nicely and pushed up. Feels more bullish to me. 15 minutes. Yeah, we got all kinds of gaps going up here on the 15-minute. Here's our highest. Here's our highest gap on the 15-minute, which we touched the bottom of it. Actually lower than that. See if I can find the top of that candle. Something like that. Now we're pulling back down. So this is kind of the same thing, I think. If we invert this guy here, then we're probably looking bearish and probably targeting short-term lows here. And again, this is just me talking through this out loud. It doesn't mean anything other than that's what I'm seeing. How close are these? $30 points. And right there. Of course, above us, we've got this. We just created this one here, but I'm not going to mark that one, right? I think if we push through this gap, we're probably going to take that out. I mean, it's pretty close. So it's not a stretch, I don't think. Okay. So really, I'm not bearish or bullish right now. I'd be leaning bullish simply because, you know, we've been pushing it very strongly. But I don't know that that's confirmed. Looks like gold is starting to push down. We've got these kind of lower lows down here. Plus, we've got the overnight open below us, which it didn't really, when we came up through it last time, we didn't really stay there very long, right? So I'm not sure how significant that's going to be. Meanwhile, gold continues to drop. Or not gold, sorry, oil. Continues to meander its way down here. And NQ is just going flat right now. Flatlined. See if this break gives us something. Let's reverse our little. This is it's pretty small opening range, so I mean, right now we're just really consolidating sideways here. Definitely don't like that much. In my mind, it's always a little less clear when this red line starts to flatten out. But target's kind of the default 60 ticks, which I think is aggressive. Saying the open range is only 23. I mean, that's based, well, it's 2.25 times the open range, I think. Right. And we are way above London, aren't we? Jeez. Yeah, we hit 50% of the open range. Got oil opening for us here in the next 5 minutes. Oil's got kind of nice meandering price action, so that hopefully bodes well for the day. Not like NQ that's just not doing anything. I don't think there's any real news today either. Housing market index at 10. Housing starts are tomorrow at 8:30, so that's red folder news. We got FOMC this week. So leading up to FOMC, equities might be kind of less interesting. About halfway. About halfway to the 100% line here. Let's see how we fell below all these levels. So this is what I'm kind of watching here, because we took out this level here, which would be kind of where this internal liquidity rests. Actually, we came down below this guy too, into this fair value gap. You can see that, which is where we kind of rejected last time. So that might be a, see that? So let's see. I kind of want to let this play out though. We're on an eval account, so we'll give it some time. We're about to cross our 5-minute lines. And we're coming up for a retest right here of this 1-minute gold line. So this, I think this will be the test to see if we hold this and roll back down, or, you know, maybe we just start the, I guess, rejoin the upward trend that we've been on. This is a pretty strong push down though, so let's give it some time. If it had hit the 100% mark, I'd be out on a retracement, but I want to see what happens here. I like how that's kind of like, this chart's so small, I can't really, there we go. Need to see what's going on right here. I mean, I guess technically, let's look at NQ over here. We came here, we rocketed up, we took out this high, we created a gap, we displaced a little bit. Closed below, and we've not closed back above that. So this is holding. At least momentarily. All right, so now's the question. Does this gap fail or do we reject again? Okay, we did, NQ did break way above this. I guess we have 30 seconds till it actually closes, but that seems pretty strong, doesn't it? Oil open. Pushing up, so we did not come back to the overnight open here. So that's interesting. Tested London lows. Now it seems like we're pushing up, at least for the moment. All right, I do not like the higher low here. I'm just going to close that there. Gold is just not on a breakout kind of a mode right now. It's kind of interesting because we came back up to the bottom of the open range. We got across of our 5-minute lines. A nice reaction off of them right there. All right, so we pushed up pretty hard, but we failed to take out this high right here. Yeah, we're going to give this one more try here. Got a horrible fill. Oh, that was, well, no, that wasn't too bad. Let me give it a little more room. I'm still trying to kind of get a fill for gold. I don't really have a good fill for gold yet. Things I like about this is we broke below pretty nicely. We came back up. We have a cross of our 5-minute lines. We have kind of a nice retest. We have a little bit of a, I mean, it's not a huge candle, right? 7-tick candle there, basically, that we're getting in off of. Stop loss, I'm going to put up there at 14 above the wick of this candle. And see if it breaks lower. I really don't know if it's going to. What's going against us is we have this sort of resistance zone here, or support, I guess, that's held. We have higher lows coming up into this level. We have low, higher low. So that's probably makes it more 50-50. So we'll play that out and see. While in the meantime, oil is 5 minutes into the open range. I mean, not really much to, don't really know anything until it fully forms. So we'll wait and see. One thing we know for sure is we've got our red line, gold line, which should give us more of a short bias. We've got the overnight open below. So the question will be, do we hold below or do we roll up, retest off the top? Kind of what we're waiting to find out. Thank you, basically just going sideways. But a lot of day left on NQ. Not too worried about it. Not looking good for us in oil. Or not oil, sorry, in gold. I need to like put a label here. Gold. Oil. Just for me. So we put in another higher low, so this is kind of wedging up this way, which, you know, Might see how that works. Draw a trend line just for fun. I mean, note how we held these levels right here. No real retest below, so kind of interesting to me. That tells me that probably coming back there. Although our stop loss is one tick above this candle. So what are the chances they want to come up here, take out a little bit of internal liquidity before it comes back down, if it does come back down? Meaning we'll get stopped out even if it comes down. Could be the case. Momentum is slowing here, so we'll see. Maybe we get lucky. I mean, if we wanted to move our stop loss up, where would make sense? We would probably want to be like way up here, so that we're above this fair value gap in case that's where they want to come to. But it seems like we're dropping right now, so maybe it's not an issue at all. Oop. That bar is so close to my little lines. Maybe I need to be less twitchy and changing my scale all the time. It's like a nervous tick or something while I'm in a trade. Well, that was quite the pullback to sit through if this actually works out. Right? All right, so yeah, so we left these three right there. We came back up and fell through. No guarantee that we will come lower, but we did at least come back to that level, so. Okay, well, oil is pushing up. So it looks like this might be good for us. Looks like we'll get a cross of our lines before the open range forms, which I think good for us. Maybe provide a little clarity, unless it comes back down to the bottom and chops around and confuses us some more. But seems bullish right now. There's the London mid-range, midline, middle line, midpoint, whatever you want to call it. Whew, she's pushing up, pushing up. This is good. Give me some range. Right now we're at 50. That's a pretty big open range for oil. Gold seems to be willing to come down. When we get down to this wick here, then we'll move to break even. Yeah, there's break even. I mean, really, I should have entered a second contract right here, right? I mean, if it was going to come up and drop, then we should have just got in another contract there. Well, this area is holding strong. Be really nice to see it fall. I want to see. I'm going to move my target to here. On the off chance. If this breaks, then it's possible we come out, take out all these lows all the way down here because we've got these equal lows down here. So that's kind of my thought process there. Just trying to kind of put my target at a rational place. So that'd be 41 or 2, something like that. Okay, the open range is done in oil. And NQ keeps pushing up. So oil, it'd be really nice if we would pull down to like the midline before we broke out. I'm going to put an order there just in case we pop out of this thing. If we don't blow through here on this candle, I'll cancel the order. I don't know. Oh, wait a minute. I got in on the wrong account. Close that one. Close that one. Do that one. All right. I almost decided not to get back in that, but I got in it. So just because it was the wrong account doesn't mean that. Just because it's the wrong account doesn't mean I can take a mulligan. Okay, then close that early. It didn't push through, so it's not going to, I don't think. So we'll wait for a pullback. Meanwhile, gold is still meandering. All right, we got to give this one more try. We had a false break here, pull back to the gold line, and now I would have preferred more space, but we'll see. All right, let's get some lines on here, some extensions. So 60 tick. I mean, this is a big opening range, right? So 60 tick targets here, right at just above the 100% line. So let's put the target there just for fun. Oh, what you doing, gold? Other than taking your time doing anything. Okay, well, maybe oil's just not ready to go yet. Nope, not yet. That's all right. Let's get rid of these markers because they really just clutter the screen. Should we lock something in over here on gold? Lock in 10, shall we? Lock in the 10 that we lost earlier in the morning. Still meandering down. I don't know. Maybe today's the kind of day where it just trickles down. I don't think so, though. I mean, it's been going up for a while, so kind of an ugly view of it, but been trickling up. Do we trickle all the way back down? I don't know. Guess we could. See if we can at least trickle down to the overnight open. A little bit below it. All right, so let's look at this just to say if we'd have got in off of this retest of our 1 minute gold line, it only went 9 ticks. But the ideal thing about that entry is that once it broke through the overnight or broke through the open range, you can move your target to break even. So then if it, did come back, you'd at least be break even. That's why I kind of prefer to get in on these before they break through, because then if it's a fake out, you have a way to get out of it unscathed instead of scathed. All right, so gold came 1 tick from the overnight open. See how and this is hard. Let's do this. I don't think there's anything else we need to watch. Okay. So I'm just watching all these lows that we created, these higher lows we created on the way up. Is that a real gap right there, or is that just the data issue? It's a big gap. Anyway, so we came down. So let's see how it reacts to these. Boom, dip below it, pulled back. Then we fell. Came down to this one. How do we react? We kind of fell through this one a little stronger. This was a wick. These are bodies. We still have a wick down here that we haven't touched yet, so. See what that does. There we go. All right, so now we wicked. We hit the overnight open, which was also a wick below this low. And I want to see if we come down to these equal lows down here. All right, we have one here, one here, one here. This one and this one are equal. But that's a strong reaction off that level. There we go. So what do you think? Are we getting greedy? No, we broke through the... Let's see what we do. Let's move another 10 ticks down. Okay, where are we at in the rest of the world? Okay, so we have a midline test. Oh, no, we don't. It's London. Interesting. Oh, we got our target. All right, so we did hit those equal lows. So that worked out really well. Should we review that trade? Probably the best trade I'll have today. Get rid of this. All right, so let's sum up gold real fast. Put my entries back on here. Okay. Now this is kind of the trick playing open range breaks, because open range breaks fell a lot, but when they work out really, really well. So we took an immediate break here because we had a strong push up. Immediate break, immediate failure, 10 tick stop. Right, stopped out for 10 ticks. Boom. No worries. Then we came down here, we rolled back up, we fell through with momentum down the other side. So we took that, and then we had moved our stop. Well, I actually just kind of jumped after we put in a higher low here. And we finished with this strong bullish candle. I just bailed on it, right? You know, obviously our target was way down here. But then what happens? We came up, our lines crossed. It was a retest, and so I went ahead and got back in on a break of basically this candle here, which gave us a big pullback. I gave myself a wider stop because I wanted to be above the top of this candle, this big candle that gave us the reaction. A better entry would maybe have been to wait for a smaller candle, because this was a big candle, right? I mean, I had to have a 14 tick stop. So it was a little bit bigger than I normally like. And then, but we sat through it. Glad we did, because we ended up falling back down. And then I walked through why I put my target where I put my target, which, you know, it worked out just fine this time. Actually, it got kind of lucky, right? It went down. Let's see where it hit. So the purple line is on the bottom of the candle just now. So it came down to these equal lows. So the bottom of this candle is exactly the same place as the bottom of this candle and the bottom of these candles. So these equal lows, now we've got 3 of them. So, I don't know, maybe a little lucky there. I put my target just, you know, a tick or two above that. So that's what we did. 42 ticks. So that puts us positive 170 only because we lost small win, bigger win, but then we had 2 losses already in oil. So we are positive, but not sure what it's going to do now. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if it comes back down here. To leave equal lows like that at the exact same spot usually is setting, you know, just setting it up for it to come back later. Oh my goodness. All right, we got the open on NQ, and it is rocketing up. Oh, it hit our target already up there. Yeesh, very bullish. So we're just gonna watch NQ for a little while. I really don't want to have anything to do with it in the sort of these opening few minutes. Well, we had a nice false breakout, pull back to the midline of the open range, pull back to our gold line. See if we wrap the midline and continue to fall, or if we reject higher. That's kind of going to give us the information that we need. I mean, if our bias is still bullish, that's probably not a bad entry. Not a bad pullback right there. All right, oil wrapped the midline. Now we're falling down to our red line. Overnight open, here we come. That was a nice pullback entry on NQ. Some nice hesitation here at the red line. There's a whole lot of hesitation everywhere. Gold's like paused, oil's paused, NQ's paused. There's no news today. No real news today, so it's going to be interesting to see how price plays out today. All right, so see how we rolled this midline? Came below it, closed above it, closed back below it. Now let's see if we drop. I mean, it was a little tricky because there really isn't a bias overall. It's just kind of sideways all the time. It's like sideways up, sideways down, but it's always just kind of sideways most days. Then every once in a while you get the day where it just kind of runs and runs and runs and runs. Yeah, see if we break out here. I don't really like it because I would have preferred to be in up here. So let's see if it just rips us out right away. I'm probably going to have a tighter target on this one because the overnight open is right here. Yeah. I don't really like those. I'm not a big fan of taking the break. Those really don't work out for me all that well. I prefer the false breakout, pullback. That's really what I need to go back to. That's what worked out for me on gold too this morning. I mean, the worst part of this is I wouldn't be surprised to see us still go down to the overnight open. Right? But the question is, you know, it's going to chop around for a while first. I don't really know. Pretty good momentum coming down though, so yeah. So what do inversions look like on oil? Well, tested, created a gap, we inverted it, came all the way back down. No real inversions down here. I don't know. That's something I want to keep an eye on just to see if that can be added for sort of additional confirmation on these oil plays. All right. NQ is about done with its open range. Problem is we took out these highs over here, so you know, I don't know. Where are you going next? Oh, goodness. think I need to get to bed earlier at night. So is that our third loss in oil or second loss? We had a loss, second loss in oil. Am I remembering that right? One, two, three. Oh yeah, because I took the immediate break here. I forgot about that. And then I took a second, which that was a bad entry. Should have been down here. It says 3 losses in oil. Oil's not being very nice to me today. Usually gold is what does it to me. But look at what gold's doing over here. I'm going to take these off first. Just sitting here. So what do we think it's going to do? I don't know. So we did have a false breakout, a test of our 1 minute line. I hesitate though because our 5 minute lines aren't lined up with us. So we do have kind of an immediate break over here on the. See, this is the immediate break that's going to work. Look at this. Actually, pretty nicely. Break would have been on this candle. Oh, pushed up 15 points so far. See what it does. This is just kind of ugly right here. I really don't see anything. I mean, the only thing maybe we took out that high. Short this gap here. All right, we got him way late on this one, but the eval account and let's see what it does. Should have been in way up here, right? So created a high, we displaced higher when we took out this, created a gap, short. Problem is we're in a very bullish trend, right? I mean, pushed up super strong, so I mean it's unlikely that it just falls. It's probably just gonna more likely to kind of chop around. Now we see if it holds on the way back down. Maybe. Yeah, I don't like it. Just gonna get out. Get out for break even. If we'd have been in the right spot, if I had my stuff set up, then it'd be much more comfortable to sit through this, but target would have been down here, 22 points. We got in at the right place. And the stop loss would have been 7.5 points. So 3-1. So that would have been okay. Let me clean this up a bit. Got too much stuff going on here. Now let's see, is this going to work? And it got it. Nice. All right, so that would have worked. That would have played out very nicely. Well, actually, not very nicely. It was very choppy, but it would have worked. So maybe not very nicely, but it worked. All right, what are you doing, oil? False breakout, false breakout. Going up the other way. Man. Now, the other gap we have going on here was created at the first minute or two right here. Oh no, if we just rocket through that, that could be another potential entry and take out these lows here. Which actually, we might have confluence with our open range if it were to kind of wrap the midline, right? Come below it, close above it, and then drop back below it. Okay, we tested the midline in oil. Where it goes from here. you really trust the gold line, that'd be a long entry off the gold line. All right, I really like how we came below the red line. We closed above the red line. We got kind of we didn't get a nice pull back, right at I guess, space. We didn't get space. We didn't push above, create space, come back and test. So if this midpoint fails though, we're probably moving higher. So NQ, we're looking at the midline and we're looking at this fair value gap to be violated. On oil, I'm waiting ideally for this to come back and retest my gold line to move higher since we're at the midline. That would be good. May not give it to us. It may just go. Gold finally worked its way up to test the gold line. But it's just kind of ugly right now. I'm going to say we caught the play of the day. Gold, though, that was pretty nice. Pretty happy with that one. There we go. All right. Don't go all the way. Come on. Don't go all the way. Just close below for me. That close below? I thought it looked like it did. It's hard because I don't really know where that candle is. I think it did, though. Not surprised if it comes up to close the gap. Don't really want that high. Probably up here. If I wasn't in a brand new eval account, I wouldn't probably take this trade. 16-point stop. That's not horrible. All right, now we're looking for us to come down. Where are we going to come down to? We want to break out here. So minimum here. Move to break even. I'm not sure. I'm not sure I want to do that. Well, oof. Yeah, I'm going to let this play out because I really don't want to get stopped out of this and then have it. I mean, our red line is in the way, so that's, you know, it's not nothing, but we're not playing the red line right now. All right, well, where do we expect it to go? Well, let's see. It's about 231. I don't know, that red line is being a pain in the butt. Really wish Ninja would improve their drawing tools here. They're kind of clunky. Oh, come on, just drop. It's not going to. It's going to rocket back up. Oh boy, this is boring. Man, it's like a 50-50 coin flip right now. I have a feeling I'm going to lose the coin flip. But I usually have that feeling, so sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. I mean, this fair value gap's holding. I mean, the problem is it holds till it doesn't, right? It could fell at any moment. But we're getting these wicks. In fact, I'm going to give myself some room here because 17 points. Almost feel like I should sell. All right, we closed in the top half of it. I don't really like that much. So I'm going to bell on that. So didn't close above it, but we closed in the top half of it, and It looks like we're coming off the red line, so we'll take a small loss on that one and wait and see how this plays out. Okay, meanwhile, oil might be behaving itself here. We came up, came back down. We're testing the midline. We're testing the gold line. Watch this just drop then. That'd be funny. 13. Mm-hmm. Oh, look at that. It is coming back down. For now, anyway. But I actually like this a little bit better. Actually, a lot better. Let me go ahead and drop that here. Was that too high? 118. See what it does. I'm going to take a quick break if you'll excuse me. See how this plays out. I'll be back in a second. All right. Did I blow up my account yet? Oh, let's see. Okay, so we got in this guy, so we'll see how this plays out. Glad I got out of this NQ play, right? Could have got out for break even if I'd been patient, but rocketing back up, so that's fine. So we're delivering out of a 5-minute fair value gap right now. I feel like, what are we missing here? I wonder if there's probably a 30-second entry here somewhere, but. So, right. I guess don't mess with the red line, right? The red line is not to be underestimated. All right, gold, it's time to pay me back. Not gold, sorry. Oil, it's time for you to pay me back for all the times you cost me money. So that's interesting. Gold left all these, like, look at all these wicks are the exact same spot. Look at that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them. And then it did go back up. So we'll see. Not trading gold anymore today, though. It already paid me, so can't expect too much. All right, let's look at, since we're in a trade in oil, see what we got. So overall, our trend is sort of sideways. We're not really going anywhere particular. Okay. That's a strong, strong rejection here. Yeah, I think I'm gonna. Yeah, I'm gonna get out of that. I don't like that strong pullback. I should have already moved to break even, honestly, so. Just wants to be choppy. Hey, can't fight it. Just gotta understand the conditions that we're playing in. Conditions right now are not good. All right, NQ. I guess it's down to you. All right, so we pushed off here. We broke out the top of the range right here. Just don't really like something a little more sort of concrete other than just kind of jumping in and hoping it continues to roll up, which very well may do. Yeah, if it pulls back to here, I'll probably give it a shot. Not with that one, though. What am I doing? Gotta adjust the stop loss on that ATM strategy. That's way too close. So this entry is basically the entry that I would have taken on the break here, but I waited for a pullback. It just is continuing to pull back on the 30-second chart here. And basically my theory is that if we violate this fair value gap down, then we're not going to go up, at least not right now. So kind of what I'm waiting to see. Right now we're kind of pushing back up. I mean, nothing's super clear right now, so it's say kind of unclear at best. What does the 1 minute look like right now? I don't like how we pushed out here and we did not take these highs. What else do we have going on? I mean, we're kind of sitting at this level right here, which the bodies on the 5 minute and 15 minute are respecting, so it's a little bit concerning. There's just no real momentum here, but we're delivering out of a 5 minute fair value gap, which, let me pop it up here. Boom. That's a 5 minute fair value gap, right? Came back in. Plus, we've got kind of a 15 minute order block, but 15 minute could take a while to play out. So if we were to close below this guy, then I'm going to stop out. I mean, I'm kind of tempted just to bounce out right now because this is not what we want to see. Too much hesitation. All right, back to break even. I guess that's good. Is really squirrely up here. I mean, talk about buying in premium. I mean, that's going long up here is risky just because could keep grinding up, but we're very, very high right now. This is like ridiculous. Ay, ay. If you're not in something, then you're just bored. If you're in something, then you're like bored and emotional roller coaster. All right, see if it comes back up to break even again. If it does, I'm gonna get out. If it falls much lower, I'm gonna get out. This isn't worth the headache. We'll wait till it tells us what it's gonna do. It's boring. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna do this. We're ready to move our stop loss. In case it decides to just rocket up for some weird reason. Maybe we can still get something out of this. All right. We're just gonna take a little bit and go home. This isn't worth sitting through. Glad we kind of sat through it though. Didn't bell early, but just not great. All right, oil, where are you at? All right, let's look at time. We got 8:15, 9:15. And we haven't broken out of the open range yet, so we've tested it on the outside, but we haven't really moved anywhere. So, I mean, normally it's going to go somewhere, even if it only goes, 50% or something, which is a lot because the range is so wide. 60 tick range is pretty big for oil. But we're just kind of meandering sideways right now. So I'm going to give it another little bit here so I can see how oil plays out and then probably come back later this afternoon. Because there's just nothing here. I mean, at some point, this range is going to fail. And then when it does, maybe we'll have more of a clue. But this is just kind of garbage right now. Okay, so we did push above the range, above this little short-term consolidation. And we broke above this high right there, so and there it goes. What time is it? 9:25. I don't really want to speculate on what I think might happen just because nothing is clear. But I do like to talk through what, if it does this, then we want to do this, So like in oil, if these lines cross and we stay below them and we get a push off of them, maybe that's the clue that we're going to break lower. We still have the overnight open down there. I mean, hopefully this isn't the short we were waiting for. I don't think so. I mean, our lines haven't crossed. It's not clear. So we do have an inside bar on the 5-minute. Which did break high. So the 5-minute candle closed at 9:25. So right there. Then we pushed above that inside bar on the 5-minute. It pulled back a little bit. So you got this little 2-minute gap. So we just placed higher above this high, created a gap, at least on the 2-minute. What does it look like on the 30-second? Nothing. 1 minute. I mean, looking at this, we had a pullback, a push out. So even though this is a fake break of the open range, let's go back to the 1 minute. Fake break of the open range. Came back in just barely, held it, and then we pushed back up. I guess if we had held with my original thought, which was that as long as we hold this fair value gap, because my original stop was a close below. We were just getting too choppy, so excuse me. So I bailed out early, but if we would have held that, would have worked out just fine. So one of the things I need to work on is stop loss placement, right? And really waiting out trades. I don't feel too bad about this one because this was, just kind of messy. I guess the lesson from here is, right, trust the red line. maybe that's not the right way to say it. Maybe it's not so much trust the red line, but it's don't underestimate the red line. Because we tried to short through it and that didn't work. Let's see. Too many words on my chart. Too many indicators. I mean, we're holding this 9 EMA too. Coming back up to it again for the 35th time. Well, the inside bar on oil hasn't failed yet. Doesn't look super strong, but it hasn't failed. I actually really, really like this for a short. All right, we're getting ready to fall through here. This is a 2-minute gap. Where are we at on the 2-minute? 2-minute closes in 4 seconds. Not going to be quite below there, but okay. I have to take this trade. Have to. Normally in an eval account, I'd be sized up a lot, but today's kind of choppy. So we're sized down. We're just kind of dinking around a little bit. See if oil can take some more money from me today. So the reason I took this one is because so we came below, we had a cross, we had a retest. So it's like the second tap of the red line, it's a retest of the gold line. So that's why. And then we haven't had a breakout of the open range yet, so I'm still kind of looking for that to happen. Plus we have the overnight open below, which is actually shy of the 50% of the open range. That's, you know, that's a reasonable target in my view. But it could be super choppy, so, you know, we'll see how it plays out. Low probability just because the market's not really, you know, it's not moving smoothly at all. It's just chopping around everywhere. How was my entry? Did we get in okay? Yeah, we got in okay. Oh, there. Well, stopped me out quick. I guess that's nice. I don't have to sit and wonder. All right, what do we got? Oh, hey, it closed below. Don't screw me up over there. Gotta fix my can't use the same tick stop loss over in NQ as you do on other stuff. Okay. Yeah, so 16-point stop. We've got, where are we going? Really down here. That's not very far. Risk to reward on this one is not great. And kind of the easy target is down here. That'd be the first target, I guess. But it'd be nice to see it go further than that. But it's back inside the open range, so I don't know if it will. The other thing is we're holding this. Well, that's on the 2 minute. Let's see what the 1 minute looks like. All right, so really we would like to see a close below here on the 1 minute. Since we already know we closed below that, this 2 minute gap, we'll move it down here. Really like to see it close below here in the next 30 seconds. Does not look like we're going to get it. This is just not really ideal because you've got playing in the middle here. You're just kind of, I don't know, just a bad spot. We're highly likely to get stopped out on this one, which really wouldn't surprise me. Interesting on gold. So we have a cross, a retest, and we're pushing higher on gold. So see how that plays out. That's kind of interesting. Oil is just doing nothing. Honestly, if this works out, I would be kind of surprised. I'd expect tomorrow to be much better because we actually have some news tomorrow. So I'm going to fall asleep watching this. Oh, thank you. I'm actually kind of relieved for that. All right. Where are we at? It's 9:40. A little bit disappointed in oil today. It just hasn't done anything. Technically, that 5-minute inside bar worked out. Like, I mean, for 14 ticks, but it worked, I think. Yeah, 14 ticks out of it. Went sideways and then went up a little bit. And I guess technically there was an inside bar right here. I didn't even see that one because it was so small. So your target would have been 17 there. So I don't know, somewhere up here. So that would have worked. If you're an inside bar person, today would have been a good day. Despite the slow action. Oil's the only thing I'm kind of hanging out for because it's just been kind of consolidating and tightening up here. So we haven't broken out yet. Haven't had a real breakout. I guess we had some false breakouts. No real push outside the open range. Kind of feels like it's winding up, getting ready to do something. So in a perfect world, so ideally, let's see, what would we like to see? We'd like to see a kind of a breakout, cross of our lines, a retest of the midline here, and a push up. Because really, we're at the midline. Like all this consolidation right here is at the open range midline. All right, now we're failing back down to the downside. This is crazy. This is really the kind of day you just shouldn't trade. I'm going to clean up my chart over here a bit. This is just too much. I think if you do anything in NQ, you got to be long, but the problem is we're so high up that it's just risky. All right, back at the open range midline on oil. All right, so we pushed down. We had to pull up. We had to pull back down. But that's kind of like what we had here. So who knows? No real direction. It's just going sideways. Did a little bounce up here. I don't know. I'm trying to talk through this to see if there's anything here that I mean, generally I like this, but I liked it here too, and it didn't really go anywhere. So I guess if we kept our stop tight, just in case it decides to go right there. What do we think about NQ right now? We came up, we fell to reach new highs, and now we're rolling over. This little fair value gap down here that held so nicely earlier See if it holds again. Is it gonna do anything? I got till 10 o'clock my time, and then I gotta take a break. It's my new rule. I only trade till 10 o'clock, and then that's it. Till the afternoon if I feel like it. On a day like today, I might come back in the afternoon just because it hasn't really done much. But all right, this will be kind of interesting. See if we hold below this gap that's been... Well, I don't know. It's still holding. Everything is just very sideways. No close below there, and now it's gonna fall. Sweat this low. Let's see, where are we at in terms of the... So this is a retest of the open range, which is actually... It's kind of a good sign if this holds. Potential for a move up. Let's see. Okay, this might be interesting. If the top of the open range holds, our gold line holds, and we inverse this back up, I think that would be a good sign for higher prices. But it could just fall through the bottom. Four more minutes till we call it a day. Don't think we're going to get anything. I mean, it could just be an oil that we have such a big range that it's not going to break out of it, right? So I guess in terms of the range of the open range, that, you know, I guess it's not a huge surprise maybe that we haven't just kind of blown through it and hit the 50%, 100% targets that we normally do, just because it's such a big range. But we are kind of just wedging down right here, so it's probably gonna move one direction or the other. So we did displace up a little bit here, but this is painful to watch. Just not moving. All right, well, it's 10 o'clock, so that's probably gonna be all for me for now. I mean, this gold is, or not gold, oil is kind of pushing up right now. Finally broke free a little bit. We have yet another cross of our lines, but those don't seem to matter. The good thing is we've pushed above all these highs, right? So we've clearly broken out of this consolidation, out of this wedge. So it'll be kind of interesting to see where it goes from here. I mean, this is the first time it's kind of pulled away smoothly like that, so that's a good sign. I mean, even here it was just kind of rush up, sideways, kind of choppy down, sideways. This is a little more Feels like it has a little more momentum, and it's like building momentum. But there would not be an entry unless it pulled back to our line. What is the time frame? 8:15. Oh, it's way past. So that's all I got. I'm going to take a break, guys. Hopefully everybody had a good day today. Trade safe. Kind of a boring day. Just not a lot going on. We did get the one really good oil trade or gold trade. Really good gold trade. Unfortunately, we offset it with all the choppy false breakouts, but that is what it is. Hopefully tomorrow's a little bit better with some news to kind of get the market moving.